Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel. So we finally have some great news that I want to discuss today, which of course is the Supreme Court overturning affirmative action when it comes to college admissions. And of course, we have the leftists freaking out over this because somehow they think that this racist policy is actually helping Black Americans, when in reality it is harming them, it is harming everybody.
These are the students Harvard admits by race. If you're in the top 10 percentile of your class and you're white, you have about a 15% admit rate. If you're Asian, you have about a 12.7% admit rate. If you're African American, you have about a 56.1% admit rate and 31.3% if you're Hispanic.
They say, oh, I'm sorry, we have too many Asians. We just have too many. We'd rather see some more Black students, and therefore we're going to reject you. Because if you're accepting people based on their race, you're also rejecting people based on their race. We have the super woke progressive people who are the racist ones here saying that, no, that's the good kind of racism, because supposedly this is helping Black people, when in reality it's not. You're teaching kids that race is the most important thing about you, and then you have people hating each other for no reason other than their race. Because again, you're teaching these children that because Tommy is white, Tommy is going to get into an Ivy League school. He's going to get really good grades. But because you're Black, you just can't do it. I'm so sorry. It's ridiculous. But that's what we're teaching Black students, that they're going to fail unless we have things like affirmative action helping them out, because for some reason they're not smart enough to do it on their own. And that reason, according to the left, is because of their skin color. And this of course ties in with America's obsession with race and other immutable characteristics like your sexuality, your gender. You know, that's all we really talk about nowadays, because everybody wants to define people based on that. They want to put people into categories based on this ideology. Based on your skin color, you're either an oppressor or you're oppressed, okay? You're either going to go through life with white privilege or you're basically screwed unless you have the help of affirmative action if you were born Black. Sorry. This is a racist belief, telling Black Americans that they can't achieve anything on their own because of their race. I don't understand how people don't see how this was a racist policy. Because we had slaves, because there was racism, the solution is now to be racist? Is the solution also now going to be slavery? Should we now enslave white people to make up for the horrors of enslaving Black people? No. So you can't fight racism with racism. You can't say, oh, we're going to fix all the problems with discrimination in the past by discriminating against students now. That's not going to do anything. And another reason this is harming Black Americans is because you're going to mismatch them into a school that they're not likely to succeed in. Because if you take anybody, forget about their race, and you put them into an Ivy League school when they're not qualified for an Ivy League school to attend, they're going to fail, they're going to drop out, and that's exactly what's happening when you take a look at the dropout rates. What do you expect? Because you have to allow people who are actually qualified to go to the school. If they're Black, if they're Asian, if they're white, you focus on their merit. Yeah, it's meritocracy. You don't focus on race, you don't focus on legacy, you don't focus on whose father went to this university in order to try and get some donations. That's wrong too. You focus on how intelligent this person is, what this person can offer. They should be focusing solely on their merit. You shouldn't be focusing on race, on their sex, on their sexuality, on their ethnicity. None of these things should determine whether or not you can attend a particular university. Because why would it? Again, unless it's for these universities to be able to virtue signal and say, oh, look at us, we're so diverse. By creating racial quotas and setting a cap on Asian students, what exactly is this going to achieve? Because that is racism. Again, I'm going to keep repeating it because I don't understand how else you would look at this. If you're going to look at an Asian student, you're going to tell them, I'm so sorry, you definitely qualify, you're smart enough, you have all these extracurricular activities that you've done, but we're so sorry, you happen to be Asian. So yeah, we have too many Asians. If you did this to Hispanic, if you did this to a Black person, anybody, you can't say, no, I'm sorry, you cannot attend because you're not the race we're looking for. I can't believe we have to even have this conversation. You're telling Black people that because of their skin color, the bar must be lowered, and then it is, and then they are mismatched into a university. And if they get in, you know, they start to wonder, is it because I was smart enough? Is it because I belong here? Or is it because of affirmative action? And who wants to go through that? Even Michelle Obama recently admitted this. I don't understand what point she was trying to make, though, because on one hand she's saying, no, we need affirmative action, but also I was wondering if I got into this university because of affirmative action. Well, that's what's going to happen. when you have this incredibly racist policy set in place where everybody has to wonder if you actually belong here or not. This is what Michelle Obama said. Back in college, I was one of the few black students on my campus, and I was proud of getting into such a respected school. I knew I'd work hard for it, but still, I sometimes wondered if people thought I got there because of affirmative action. It was a shadow the students like me couldn't shake. So get rid of affirmative action. Because why would you need it? If you got in based on your merit, then nobody would be wondering that. Because if there was no affirmative action, then that's not even a possibility. At least you know that you got in because you deserve it, and not because the school wanted to seem more diverse. And effort matters, and the color of your skin should not matter. And that's exactly what the Supreme Court ruling is saying. Race-based admissions are unconstitutional. Why would anybody want to be admitted into uni and then wondering or knowing that they were only admitted because of their race and not based on their own merit? Discrimination in the past was not okay, and discrimination now isn't okay either. And this isn't just happening in higher education, this is happening in the workplace as well. So just think about it. You are saying, hey, it doesn't matter if you can fly this plane properly or perform this surgery the way that it has to be done. Are you black? Are you Asian? Are you white? Because as a company, we want to look good. We want to brag about being diverse. I don't think the person on the table getting the surgery would be happy with that, or the passengers on the plane, or any situation. Like, you really just need to be qualified. That should be the priority. And this was specifically involving Harvard and the University of North Carolina. Basically, they're saying that students should write about their race anyways in their essays, to get admitted into college. And that, by the way, no one said that you can't do that. Students can still write about their race and their experience being in a minority if that's what they choose to do for their admissions essay. But they're not going to say, oh, sorry, you're an Asian American. That's what this is saying. Or they're not going to accept people just because that's the race that they want to see. That's all that it's saying. But back to Harvard. Harvard is already known to be racist. In fact, when they were saying no to the Asian Americans, when you thought, oh, maybe it couldn't get any more racist, right? No, it gets more racist. They have a personality score, and they're saying, sorry, you guys just aren't interesting enough. What? But guess what? With the whole Harvard announcement about the essays, you can still write about your experience with discrimination as a white person. Just don't mention that you're white, and you wouldn't even be lying, because white people are being discriminated against and being fired because of their skin color, not being accepted into university because of their skin color. UC Berkeley, off-campus housing, that said, no, sorry, no whites allowed here for the POC only housing, right? Let's fight segregation by being racist. By saying no whites allowed. We also had the Chicago Museum where white women were being fired because of a lack of diversity, and the Minneapolis public school that was going to fire white people first because they're white. Again, a lack of diversity. That's why we're going to either hire you or fire you, let you in or ban you. Straight up. This is like they're not even hiding it. You'd think this is something to be ashamed of, that they would hide or at least try to hide. No, it's out in the open.
They are reeling, they are devastated, and they're worried about what the culture, what the makeup of their classes, the future generations coming up behind them at Harvard, what they're going to look like in the future. Many of them have been dreading this moment for a long time now. So they've had time emotionally to prepare for it, but what I'm hearing is that it still feels like a gut punch for many of them.
They had time to emotionally prepare for it. They had time to prepare for the fact that this racism is not going to be allowed anymore, and that you're going to only focus on merit now. Oh, the horror. We can't be racist. We can't say, oh, we want this race and we don't want that race. They needed to emotionally prepare for that. It's kind of like a circle. Like, first we were like, no, you can't attend our university because you're black. We only want white people. Then it's like, no, actually, you're smart enough. It doesn't matter what race you are. We're going to accept you if you're smart enough. Now it's, oh, actually, no, we have too many people of that race, so denied. And one example that happened recently of people having this victim mindset is Mayor Eric Adams. This is a white woman expressing her concern over the rent rising, and how dare she? She's a white woman asking a black man a question, and she's upset. That must mean she's a slave owner. That must mean she is very, very racist.
Why in New York City, where the real estate is controlling you, Mr. Mayor, why are we having these horrible rent increases last year and this year?
Okay, first, if you're going to ask a question, don't point at me and don't be disrespectful to me. I'm the mayor of this city. Don't stand in front like you treated someone that's on the plantation that you own. Give me the respect I deserve and engage in a conversation up here in Washington Heights. Treat me with the same level of respect.
Obsessed with race. Eric Adams, when someone criticizes you and you have to resort to, calling her a slave owner or a racist because she's white and he's black, I guess, and because she has concerns about the rising, the rent, that's kind of embarrassing, honestly. Here's another example. This is a college graduate who rips the microphone from the administrator's hand.
Okay, let go. Let go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. You snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Well, she admits it. She wanted it to be all about her.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations!
And she said that this was racist because the white administrator didn't let her finish talking. So this is an obvious lie, and now we have proof. So here is the full video.
Hey, I want the mic. I want the mic. Let go. Let go. Let go. You didn't let me get my moment. Drop the mic. Congratulations, girl. You didn't let her get her moment.
Look how gracefully she handled this blatant racism, right? But then the next girl, she's just like quietly saying what she was supposed to say. It's something. It's definitely something. Narcissism and entitlement. Here's the post, by the way. To everyone saying I should be embarrassed or I'll never get a job, I'm a black woman in America. I'm always in the right. You will not gaslight me into thinking I'm the bad guy. I did it for the girls that look like me. Love you. Huh? And in the back you can hear someone saying, yeah, you go, girl. I mean, that's, again, this is what victim mentality does to you. You immediately think racism and you think you're a victim of racism. Oh my God, I wasn't given a whole extra minute to say what I want to say when no one else was allowed that either. That must mean that there's racism going on because the administrator is white, I am black, racism, boom. And back to affirmative action. Those who are arguing that we needed to address historical racism and to stop racism today by saying you prefer this student because of their skin color does not create a level playing field. And your race does not determine whether or not you need special treatment to succeed. Just because you are a certain race does not mean you are less capable or less qualified. So those are my thoughts on affirmative action. I would love to hear your thoughts, so make sure you comment them below. Also remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can see my next video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.